In 1962, John F. Kennedy, speaking at Independence Hall, spelled out the most important responsibility of any public official.
Our responsibility is one of decision, for the governed is to choose.
Today, policymakers are faced with another important choice. Over the past several years, Congress and the President have had to make significant cuts to the Pell Grant program. At the same time, a different kind of federal spending on education, the tens of billions of dollars that the government provides through the tax code each year, is increasingly going to upper middle income families who are more able to afford sending their children to college without the help. In a new chart you can trust, Moving on Up, How Tuition Tax Breaks Increasingly Favor the Upper Middle Class, Senior Policy Analyst Steve Burd talks about how this form of federal education spending has changed.
So your report talks about the fact that these tax credits aren't really very well targeted. Has it always been this way?
Actually, no. When the Clinton administration and Congress first created the Hope and Lifetime Learning tax credits in the late 1990s, they aimed squarely to help the middle class. And at first, the programs lived up to their billing, with most of the savings going to families making under $75,000.
This chart shows that between 1999 and 2001, only 17% of the tax benefits went to filers earning $75,000 or more. Families making $100,000 or more were not eligible for these benefits.
In 2001, Congress created the higher education tax deduction as part of President George W. Bush's tax cut legislation. The deduction was available to individuals earning up to $80,000 a year and families making as much as $160,000 annually. Experts predicted that it would begin to shift federal support to higher income families. It did.
More than half of the $11 billion in savings that families received from the tuition tax deduction in tax years 2002 through 2009 went to those making $100,000 or more, and nearly three-quarters went to those earning $75,000 and above. Again, the biggest winners have been higher income families. In 2009, families with incomes of $75,000 or more received 44% of the benefits, with a whopping 26% going to those making between $100,000 and $180,000.
So if these aren't really well targeted, then what's the alternative?
The report calls for eliminating the tuition tax break programs and using the savings for the Pell Grant program. Over the last few years, the Pell Grant program has been facing a major budget crisis, and ending the tax break programs and redirecting the money there can make the program more sustainable. The importance of the Pell Grant program is that it is an extremely well-targeted program. More than three-quarters of the students receiving benefits through the Pell Grant program come from families making under $30,000.
You can read Stephen Bird's full analysis in Moving On Up, available on the Education Sector website, www.educationsector.org.